Hello students, we will see lecture on the rectum. Rectum is the distal part of large intestine. Rectum means straight, but in human it is not straight. It is straight only in quadrupeds, and as the part of large intestine, it is divided of tinea coli, sacculation and appendices epiploiky, which are the cardinal features of large intestine. It is extending between sigmoid colon above and anal canal below. It is curved antero-posteriorly and also curved side to side. See, this is the rectum, which is the continuation of the sigmoid colon at the rectosigmoid junction, and below continues as the anal canal at anorectal junction. This is the rectum, part of large intestine, distal part, and it is divided of the sacculation, tinea coli and the appendices epiploiky. Now we will see its location. This is the rectum. It is situated in posterior part of the lesser pelvis, in front of lower three sacral pieces of sacrum and the coccyx. It is placed behind the urinary bladder in male and behind the uterus in female. It is 12 centimeter long and diameter is 4 centimeter where it is continues as a sigmoid colon. In lower part, it is dilated as a rectal ampulla and becomes the anal canal at anorectal junction. So extension of rectum is from rectosigmoid junction against the S3 vertebra level till the anorectal junction, which is situated 2.5 centimeter below and in front of tip of coccyx. Now we will see its course. It is beginning and the end of the rectum lie in the median plane, but it has two types of curvatures. In this figure, this is the antero-posterior curvature is shown. Here lateral curvatures are shown. Rectum is curved both antero-posteriorly and side to side. This is antero-posterior curvature. It is the two curvatures are there, sacral flexor or the sacral curvature. It corresponds to concavity of the sacrum and coccyx. Perineal curvature or the perineal flexor, which corresponds to forward bend of the anorectal junction. It is maintained by puborectal sling. This is shown the lateral curvatures. Here lateral curvatures are shown. Three curvatures are there. First, upper curvature, upper lateral curve is convex to right at the junction of S3 and S4. This is the middle lateral curvature. It is convex to left at sacrococcygeal junction. This is the most important and the prominent curvature. This is the lower lateral curvature, convex to the right at the level of tip of coccyx. See, we have seen the upper lateral curvature, middle and the lower lateral curvature. Now we will see the relations of the rectum. First we will see the peritoneal relations, how the upper 1/3 part of the rectum, middle 1/3 part and lower 1/3 part having the relations with the peritoneum. Again we will see here in this figure the curvature, upper lateral curvature, middle curvature and the lower lateral curvature. You can see here against the curvature, we will see in the interior there are the walls are placed opposite to the curvature. Visceral relations we will see. It is different in male and in female. Anteriorly, in upper 2/3 part, in lower 1/3 part, different relations are there in male and in female. We will see it. First we will see the peritoneal relation. This is the peritoneal pouch, that is the rectovesical pouch, which separate rectum from the urinary bladder. In female there is a rectouterine pouch is there, which separate rectum from the uterus. Now we will see the peritoneal relations. In upper 1/3 part, rectum is covered by peritoneum on front and the sides. In middle 1/3 part, it is covered only in the front. In lower 1/3 part, it is not covered by peritoneum at all. Now the visceral relations, anterior relations are shown over here. Anterior relations in the male. In the male, there is a rectovesical pouch. In upper part, upper 2/3 part, it is different. In lower 1/3 part, anterior relation is different. In upper 2/3 part, it is having relation containing in the rectovesical pouch the coils of small intestine and the sigmoid colon. In female, here rectouterine pouch is there, which contains the coils of small intestine and sigmoid colon. In lower 1/3 part, anterior relations in the male are base of urinary bladder, ureters, seminal vesicle, ductus deferens, prostate. In female, there is a vagina which is separated by rectovaginal fascia. Here the relations in the female is shown. This is the rectum, this is uterus and this is the vagina. In upper 2/3 part, there is a rectovaginal or the rectouterine pouch is there, which contains the coils of small intestine and the sigmoid colon. And in the lower part, it is separated from the posterior wall of vagina by the rectovaginal fascia. Lateral relations of the rectum are: in upper part, there is a pararectal fossa containing the coils of small intestine and the sigmoid colon. In lower part, there is a levator ani muscle which surround it, also provides support to it. Now we will see the posterior relations. Posterior relations are same in male and in female. See, posteriorly, this is the posterior side of the rectum as it lies against the curve of the sacrum and the coccyx. Obviously, these are related to it. This figure shows the posterior relation of the rectum. It is related in the midline, lower 3 pieces of sacrum, coccyx, anococcygeal raphe. Ganglion impar, which is the sympathetic chain of both sides unite to form the ganglion impar, median sacral vessels and also the superior rectal artery. It is also having the fascia of Waldears, which is lying behind the sacrum. On each side of the midline, it is related to piriformis, coccygeus, levator ani, sympathetic chain, anterior primary rami of S3, S4 and S5, also the coccygeal nerves. Pelvic splanchnic nerves are also related laterally, and the lateral sacral vessels. These are the relations on the posterior side. See here, nerve relations are shown over here on the posterior side. This is the uterus, this is the rectum, also shown the nerves which are related on posterior side. This is the sympathetic chain. Now we will see the interior of rectum. Interior of the rectum has longitudinal fold and the transverse fold. Longitudinal fold are temporary and these are present in lower part of the rectum only, and they disappear when rectum distends. Transverse fold, we will see there are 3 folds are there, first, second and third, and sometimes there is a 4th fold also present. These are called, here we can see the interior of the rectum. Here we can see here. See this longitudinal folds in lower part of rectum, it is present and they disappear when rectum distends. What we have seen here, the permanent mucosal folds, these are called the horizontal fold, called Houston's walls. These are semi-lunar in shape. We will see it. First fold. See, this is the first fold, lies near upper end close to the rectosigmoid junction, projects from the right or the left wall. Second fold, it is 2.5 centimeter above the third fold and it projects from the left rectal wall along the concavity of the lateral curve. Third fold is the most constant fold and it projects from the anterior and the right wall of the rectum and it lies along the concavity of the middle lateral curvature. Sometimes fourth fold may also be present 2.5 centimeter below the third wall. Now these are the walls are shown while internal examination of rectum called the proctoscopy or the rectoscopy, and here the folds of rectums are shown. These folds are projected from the wall of the rectum. These are nothing but the mucosal folds containing the submucosa inside with circular smooth muscle, and these will cause hindrance in passing of the instrument from the anus. So in sigmoidoscopy or the rectoscopy, we have to do this scopy in left lateral position to avoid the injury to Houston's third wall, which is more prominent and constant, to avoid discomfort to the patient. See, again these folds are shown in this figure, first fold, second fold and the third fold. These are present as a semi-lunar or precentric fold in the lumen. Now we will see the blood supply. Blood supply, arterial supply by superior, middle and rectal artery and the median sacral artery. Venous drainage is through superior rectal vein, middle rectal vein and the median sacral vein. See here, superior rectal artery. Superior rectal artery is the chief artery of the rectum. It is continuation of inferior mesenteric artery. Middle rectal artery is the branch of anterior division of internal iliac artery. Inferior rectal artery shown over here, it is the branch of internal pudendal artery. Median sacral artery also supplies the rectum. Superior rectal artery, when it supplies, which is the major supply to the rectum, it is when it descends over the rectum, it divides into the right and the left branch. Again, right and left branch divides into anterior and posterior branches. These branches further divide and pierce as a small branches to the rectal wall and forms anastomosis in submucous coat on the lower part of the rectum. And this form plexus and with the inferior rectal vessels or the arteries. Middle rectal artery, which is here the middle rectal artery shown, which is the branch of the anterior division of internal iliac artery. It passes through the lateral ligament of the rectum and supplies the lower part of the rectum. This is less important because it supplies only superficial coat of the rectum. Inferior rectal artery, which is the branch of internal pudendal artery, it crosses the ischiorectal fossa and is supplied to the rectum, but it is important, which is forming anastomosis with the superior rectal artery. Median sacral artery, it is the branch arises from the posterior aspect of aorta and it descends in the median plane to supply the posterior wall of the anorectal junction. Venous drainage, we will see. Venous drainage, ultimate same veins are there, that is the superior rectal vein, middle rectal vein and the inferior rectal vein. Superior rectal vein is single in number, drains into the continues as an inferior mesenteric vein